This is Andi Purewal for Boxing News. I'm joined by Johnny Fisher here at Matchroom Square Gardens, as I like to call it. Johnny, how are you doing?
Good, thanks, Andy. Just said I ain't seen you in a little while. Hope you're keeping well.
I have been, mate. It's good to catch up with yourself, and you've got a massive fight now. Mr. Alen Babic, somebody you'll know well, somebody you'd have watched over the years. Why now this step up? It's a question people have wanted to have answered for a while. They've wanted to see that step up. Now, Mr. Babic, why Alen Babic?
People always want questions to be answered, and when you answer them, they want a new question to be answered. So don't worry about that. When I fought Armstrong, that was meant to be a question answered. Now they've seen me in a highlight in the southern area, which is great because people at one point didn't think I was southern area level. So I'm just going to keep progressing, and yeah, it's a great fight. Alan's going to bring the heat. It's going to be right in front of me. So I don't know if that's a wise decision to be in front of me and let me swing my right hands and uppercuts in, but it's going to be an exciting time while it lasts.
I mean, you've just said it's going to be an exciting time. The general consensus is with this fight, it's going to be a firefight. It's going to be one which gets the fans off their seats.
It could be a Weatherspoons matchup, you know, outside the Weatherspoons, you know, having a scrap on the cobbles. So I'm hoping to show a little bit more skill than that, but whatever happens, you're going to be in for an exciting night is what I mean.
Is that something which appeals to you more heading into a fight, though, that kind of gets the juices flowing more, knowing you've got someone who is coming with bad intentions, coming with every intention of trying to take your head off?
But it just gets you want to get involved in that, but you also don't. You want to stick to your game plan at the same time. I'm always going to have that fight in me, that ability to have it out and have a scrap. But if I stick to what I can do as well, I can do it with a bit of finesse, you know.
Other than say a one punch, the first punch of a fight knockout, what do you think for yourself and for other people to really take note would be the best type of result or outcome of the fight?
Knockout. Knocking someone spark out is always the best way. You'll want to walk across that ring and in the first round land a 1-2 which knocks him spark out. That's the best outcome, and it always will be. So I can't say that's going to happen, but the best outcome is to knock someone spark out.
Is this been a fight where we expect to see the pair of you kind of meet in the middle, if you will?
Yeah, it'll be meeting in the middle. There'll be boxing as well. But if we meet in the middle, I'm happy to do that, and I'm equipped to do that as the bigger, stronger, faster man.
Obviously, there will still be question marks over Alan from the Rosansky fight. Is that something which, not necessarily changing your own game plan, but you want to try and take him back to that night, try and hurt him early, try and make him start to have doubts come back into his mind?
Alan's a fighting man, and he won't care about who's lost or beat before, as I don't care about who I've beat before and how long it's taken. It's a fight at the end of the day, and the fight that we're going to have on the 6th of July will be different to the fight with Rosansky. That doesn't enter my mind. I've got to go in there, do my job, do what I've trained to do, and I will. Speaking
to Eddie earlier, he said that victory here is the one which puts you into the equation to talk about fights with the other domestic names, the Wardleys, the Clarks, the Soldakers or the Adelays, if you will. Is that where you see the career progression going, provided this fight goes to plan?
As you said, provided this goes to plan. That's all that matters to me. As you know, we spoke before. This is the only fight that matters to me. But yeah, I want to win the British title one day. Whether that's in the next year, if it's 18 months, if it's in 6 months. I want to win the British title at some point. But it'd be great to win the English title, do it the traditional way. But this is all if, buts and maybes, and if I don't get the result on the 6th of July.
You made an interesting comment very early on in this interview that the Harry Armstrong one was the one where people was supposed to be a step up. People question if you'd even win a Southern Area title. At the beginning of your career, I remember having conversations with many people where they said you don't really know where the career of Johnny Fisher will go, you don't know what he'll go on to achieve, just kind of enjoy the ride as far as it goes. But now you're at this stage, now you're going into these fights, have you got your own idea as to how far the Johnny Fisher train can go?
As you said, people just enjoy. I still believe that. Enjoy every minute of it, whether that's fighting for a world title or fighting for an area title. When you enjoy it and you enjoy what you do you enjoy your job? Do you enjoy what you do?
My job.
So that's all that matters, you know. Yeah. Just keep enjoying your job, and the good things will happen, and the good times will come, and that's what's happening here. Fighting against the savage Alan, it's great, and who knows where it will end up.
Headlining at the Copper Bosch.
The Copper Bash.
You fought in Vegas.
Yeah.
What's this last year in particular been like for Mr. Johnny Fisher?
This year so far has been a bit crazy. I was in Vegas. I saw the New Year in Vegas, trained out there. Then we went to Australia with Big John doing his DJ sets. Then I went to Houston, Texas to spar with Hrgovic, and now we're back here. I think I've been away more than I've been at home. I was talking to some of the Matchroom staff. I ain't even got wardrobes in my house yet, and I'm just living off the floor in my thing. But when you're training for a fight, nothing matters. Oh, I thought my mum was about to get on the rodeo then. Jesus.
Are you somebody who misses home? Are you missing?
I do love home. When I'm away, I do love home. But when you're at home, you want to be it's one of them, isn't it? You want to be away, but there's nothing better than getting home. I live just 2 minutes away from my mum and dad, live around the corner. I've still got a lot of stuff to do to my house, but there's no place like home. And Romford's changed a lot. Gidea Park where I live has changed a lot, but you still got everything's it's just home to you, so nothing else matters, you know.
Are you seeing the benefits of those sacrifices, if you will, though, all that time away, boxing away from home, whether it be sparring or actual fights? Are you seeing the benefits of it all?
You've got to sacrifice. You've got to sacrifice in life, no matter what you do, whatever job you've got to make sacrifices, otherwise life isn't worth living. If you're just living a vaporous lifestyle, just enjoying it as you go, and not building anything, then there's no point. Part of being a man is building something for the future, and I think that's what I'm trying to do here for me and my family.
Johnny, you mentioned earlier on the sparring with Hrgovic. He obviously suffered a stoppage defeat this past weekend. What can you reflect on that sparring firstly, and what did you make of his defeat?
Really, really good sparring with Hrgovic. Among the best one-on-one, like one guy, it's the best I've ever sparred one-on-one. Like I sparred Fury, sparred him with a couple of other guys, but to see someone for 4 or 6 rounds on your own, Philip is by far the best I've ever sparred. And I sparred Daniel as well.
What separates them?
The ability to read what you do, the punch output, the movement, the ability to do everything. If I duck one way too many times, he'll pick up on it straight away. The intensity, the aggression, but then on fight night, I don't know if it's how good Daniel Dubois was, which you've got to be, but Philip just didn't seem the same as what I had seen.
That's what I was about to say. The version of what you've just described in sparring, nothing like what we saw on fight night.
And don't get me wrong, Philip came out in the first round and kept tagging him with them backhands, and it was really working really well. But I don't know if it was Dubois. He's physically strong, Dubois, and his backhand and his jab. When it hits you, his jab is like a right hand. On the flip side to talking about Hrgovic, when I sparred Dubois, he's got the hardest punch anyone I've ever sparred, without a doubt.
Just sticking with the theme of Daniel Dubois, there's talks of a potential fight with Anthony Joshua. What would you make of them two crossing?
Really good fight. I think I would favour Joshua slightly, just because he's operated at that high level and won at that high level, and he really twists that right hand in, whereas Hrgovic was probably snapping it in a little bit. But Hrgovic, when Joshua lands with that backhand, as you saw with Ngannou, I know he's not the level of Dubois, but I'll probably favour him, but who knows?
Sticking with heavyweight theme, Zhang stopping Deontay Wilder. What do you make of that?
Zhang, got a lot of time for him. Seen him about a lot of times. Obviously, when he fought Joyce, really nice man. Great team with Tommy Lane and his brothers managing him. But I just think Wilder he's lost that little bit of killer. But we can't forget how good Wilder was in his heyday. People are quick to forget once you lose that. Oh, he's rubbish. He's this. He's that. We've seen it with Joshua. We've seen it with Fury. Even now, people give him stick. But this guy was a feared danger man in the division, knocking 40 people out. Unbelievable. So, got to give Wilder credit for his career.
Your undisputed bout a couple of weeks prior to that, Alexander Usyk coming out on top against another man you mentioned earlier, Tyson Fury. What do you make of Usyk's victory?
Usyk's victory was very, very impressive. I thought he could have been out there in round 6, round 7. Usyk could have been, because the way he was landing that jab and bringing it up with uppercuts and body shots, and then just turned the screw. He just steps it up another gear in the second half of the fight, and to do it not only at cruiserweight and then heavyweight, unbelievable.
And then final one, 2 men which you'll know well, who are going to be squaring off very soon, Joyce and Derek Chisora. What do you make of their path? Great
little scrap that. A couple of the boys are veterans of the game now, and that is another fan-friendly scrap. And listen, I like both men. Joe's obviously, I'm closer to Joe, he's my friend, and I'll be backing him in the fight.
Johnny, appreciate your time. Final message to everybody?
Tune in 6th of July and bring your fucking popcorn. But